What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and today is my first impressions of the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. I know, please bear with me, this phone to my viewers is probably about as exciting as watching paint dry, but we have to shift perspective with the Pixel lineup. Bit of a hot take in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's go. I've been using the Pixel 10 Pro for about a day and a half now, 2 days, and I obviously have my thoughts. This is my first impression. I'll do a full review in a couple of weeks. The Pixel 10 Pro XL, the XL especially, has a place in the world of smartphones. But its place, and here's the start of my hot take, is not with other flagship phones such as the Huawei Pura 80 Ultra. The Huawei Pura 80 Ultra is a luxury device that covers a niche audience in that it has the most outstanding and groundbreaking and best camera system on a candy bar phone. Its competition is not the Pixel lineup. It's the Vivo X200 Ultra, it's the Oppo X8 Ultra, it's the Honor Magic 7 RSR. Those are in a different league in terms of specifications, particularly cameras, than the Pixel 10 Pro XL. And Google know this. They know their place in the food chain is competing with the Samsung S25 Ultra, the iPhone 16, soon to be 17 Pro Max. Their whole keynote, which they paid just an exorbitant amount of money for Jimmy Fallon and other celebrities to be there, wasn't really about the phone. It was really odd. I would recommend you watch it just for the embarrassment of it all. But their keynote, their whole ethos is not about making the best smartphone in the world. It's about getting 0.5% of Apple users to switch. Because Apple have such a huge market share of smartphones, particularly in the US, if Google can pinch 0.5%, that's a massive number for people to switch to a Pixel device. So in this video, I want to talk about the specifications of this phone, spec for spec, with this phone and the iPhone. I am not going to compare it to a Huawei Pura 80 Ultra or a Vivo X200 Ultra, because unfortunately it just stands no chance. The Pixel 10 Pro XL was released at the same time as the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 10 Pro. There are actually subtle differences between each of these devices, so I am purely going to stick to the XL because that's the big boy and that's got the max specifications available on any Pixel device. So, first of all, elephant in the room. This is the same phone as a Pixel 9 Pro XL in terms of design and look and feel and weight. It's the same phone. Nothing on the outside is different. Nothing. Don't let anybody tell you different. It's all about the internals. And while none of it is groundbreaking, every single piece of it is better than last year's 9 Pro XL. And I rewatched my own video on the 9 Pro XL last year, and I was really happy. I was really actually quite giddy about the direction Google have gone in terms of design. I love the flat 6.8-inch display competing with the S25 Ultra and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I love that it's near 2,500 nits of peak brightness. I love that it's 120 Hz with Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on there. It's a premium display which goes up to near Quad HD resolution. You have to toggle that on in the settings. I believe the display resolution is set to Full HD when you first get it, but again, you can upgrade that in the settings menu. So in terms of display and dimensions, that didn't have to change. It's already as big as I want my Candy Bar phone to be. But what was lacking last year was, well, 3 main things. 2 have been addressed, 1 not so much. First thing, performance. The Tensor chip is nowhere near as good as the Qualcomm Snapdragon or the MediaTek Dimensity chip. It still's not. But the new Tensor chip inside is markedly better in terms of CPU, slightly in GPU, but where it absolutely excels, and this is where Google are going hard, they're doubling down on AI. And their TPU, I think they're calling it, the chip inside is quicker than any Qualcomm, any MediaTek chip in terms of AI. To render your AI Gemini images or whatever you want to do, your live photos that you can edit live on the phone now, everything is just quicker and smoother. There's no delays, it's just instant. And I should mention as well, with the Pixel 10 Pro XL, the price we'll get to, it does come with Gemini Live on deck, which I believe is going to be about, what, £200 per year? So yeah, that's kind of a saving. Now, if you're a hardcore gamer, the Pixel, much like the iPhone, is probably not the phone for you. The Pixel 10 Pro XL, shock here, is still not going to be a gaming masterpiece. It's not going to suddenly overtake Red Magic or anything. It's a capable device that will handle most of your games, but don't expect the highest frame rates for the longest periods with this Tensor chip. And also, don't expect your phone to stay nice and cool in the hand if you're gaming for a long time, because switching apps, transferring data to this phone, wirelessly charging the device, it gets cozy, to say the least. So while they have tackled performance and it is an upgrade and they've definitely focused on AI, it's nothing close to Qualcomm's Snapdragon Elite chip. And software-wise, here's a second hot take from me. While I was at the Honor event the other day, I was with my friend and colleague Gary, and I'd said to him, do you know what I wish? I wish that every single Android device from Honor and Vivo and Oppo, all of them, in the settings menu, under the home launcher, I wish they all came with 2. They came with the skin, the proprietary skin that company has, Magic OS, Origin OS, Color OS, or you have the option to change it to stock Google, which the Pixel comes with. Because after using all these different software skins, it can get confusing. You can forget all of the features that every single one has, and they all are slightly different, or they're in a slightly different place in the settings menu. Whereas, if you had the option to just choose stock Google, it offers me enough customization and certainly a more easier use case. Because again, for who this phone is pitched at, they just want something easy. You know exactly where to find every single setting, and sometimes that's quite refreshing. Now, in terms of the second big ticket item, which for me would be battery, they have improved it. It's now over 5200 milliamp hours inside the Pixel XL. It's also 45 watts wired charging and 25 watts wireless charging with MagSafe, or Pixel Snap they're calling it. Now, again, if we're comparing it to the Vivos of the world, that is dead slow. But we're not. We're comparing this phone to the mainstream iPhone and Samsung, and it's just in line. 45 watts quicker than the iPhone, and 25 watts wireless quicker than the iPhone. Now, in terms of battery capacity, at 5250 milliamp hours, I believe it is, that's far bigger than the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and slightly bigger than, about 5% actually, bigger than the S25 Ultra. I'm okay with that. I am fine with that, because that's the phones it's competing with. Now, based on my first impressions, the third and final big ticket feature on any smartphone is the cameras. And, like the iPhone, and I have to say like the Samsung, there's never a major year-on-year upgrade here. The cameras remain close to the same as the previous year. And when it comes to pixel, that's not a bad thing. I would argue with a lot of people that the ultra-wide on the Pixel is better than the ultra-wide on the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the Samsung S25 Ultra. I would also say that the main lens is the same as well. 48 megapixels on that, just like the iPhone. Now granted, the S25 Ultra has a 200 megapixel main lens, but be honest, if you have an S25 Ultra, how many times do you actually go into the camera settings menu and change it to 200 megapixels? Probably not very often, because it limits on your zoom in, it limits on a few other things as well in terms of the file formats. So yeah, we generally stick to the 50 megapixels. And when we compare all three, again, might just be me, but I think the Pixel, with its post-processing, produces the best pictures. The one lens that you know I love a zoom lens. That's where the Pixel falls short of certainly the Samsung, not so much the iPhone. However, like Google have always done, and they're leaning into it more and more. I talked about that chipset and the AI performance it has. The high-res zoom, yeah, it's there, but only if you want to turn every single photo you take into a really soft, almost cartoonish image. Yeah, it over sharpens to the point of looking fake for every high-res zoom image in my 2-day experience with the phone. So in terms of the three big ticket items, performance and battery and cameras, it hangs with the other two mainstream phones in my opinion. So bringing this full circle, for who the Pixel 10 Pro and 10 Pro XL and their standard 10 is for, I think this might be the best option out there. Now granted, we've got the iPhone 17 Air and 17 lineup coming soon, but Pixels are just nice. They're probably the most reliable Android devices out there in terms of you just know what you're going to get. And the fact that there's other advantages, not just Gemini Live included. 7 years of major OS updates. So that'll take you from Android 16, which is already on deck, another advantage, all the way up to Android 23. Folks, 7 years. I'll be almost 50. That's wild. And you and I won't keep our phones for 7 years. I won't keep this phone for 7 days probably. But some people out there will. So when you look at the price tag of £1,100 for the base model, which is $256 on the XL, $128 on the Pro, which is, yeah, not really good in 2025. But when you look at the base model, £1,100, and you think Gemini Live, really cool feature. If you want it, you'd have had to pay £200 or £18 a month anyway. And then if you look at the 7 years of updates, I'm telling you now, this phone will last years. Years and years. So it's an investment, and we all have those relatives that are still using an iPhone 10 or 12. Folks, next month, the iPhone 12 will be 5 years old. I know, we're all getting bloody old. Just my first impressions are positive. They have upgraded in every area I would want for a relative. They are giving consumers what they really need, which is a reliable phone with all those software updates and convenient AI on deck. If you want to see a camera comparison between the XL and the Pura 80 Ultra, I will do one. If this video gets 100 likes, there we go, I'll do it. But it will be somewhat of a pasting for the Pixel device, but I'll do it. I'll be back soon with a full review of said Pura 80 Ultra, which you've probably guessed I quite like. And until next time,